everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday only here on Top Shelf Oldies. Want to welcome you to the October 22nd, 2016 Vinyl Treasure Show as we get into those cold October days here. It was a kind of overcast day, though, but has been had rain here the last couple of days. Went to some horror thing at Phillipsburg Manor where you walk through and these people like are in the dark and they come out and kind of like scare you. And I was in like a group of these young girls. Me and Barbara went. And I kind of saw it happening before my eyes, but it was okay. But I think I'm a little bit too old. Barbara and I, we say, well, that's probably going to do it for that. We are done with that stuff. But I'm here for a Saturday evening. Heard a cool rockin' instrumental to open up tonight's 50s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Master tenor saxophonist born in Bastrop, Texas, if I said that right, started recording in 1949 for the Freedom record label and recorded on so many different labels: Bayou, Cash, Combo, Crown, Duto, Imperial, Lucky, Mercury, Modern, RPM, recorded in Hollywood, and so many others. We just heard the first of two he recorded on John Dolphin's Money record label, that one there from January 1955, the fabulous Joe Houston. Yes, with a song called All Night Long. Johnny G can go all night long, that is for sure. But I am here for at least the next 2 hours to spin some original vinyl 45s out of my collection. We go to Philadelphia, PA for our opening 45, as this is the third overall release on George Goldner's N record label. And it's from August of 1957, the first of two, featuring Ronald Jones on lead. This one charted regionally number 25 on WAKR out of Akron, Ohio. Give a listen to Ronnie Jones and the Classmates. This on the N label, their tune called Teenage Rock.
Tuesday, it's so dark on blue.
August 1957 release there for Ronnie Jones and the Classmates. That one there on George Goldner's End record label. That's the Black and Silver End record label. Their tune called Teenage Rock. As we open up the vocal portion of the Vinyl Treasure Show, let's continue here. Have been featuring a number of the sides from this Harlem, New York group. Last week I played the second of 6 on Bess Berman's Apollo record label. Their tune called I Don't Know. This was their follow-up written by the lead singer Floyd Adams. And this one from March of 1956. The keynotes here. Floyd Adams on lead on Apollo. A song entitled Really Wish You Were Here.
Wish you were here. Wish you were here. Wish you were here. Wish you were here. I wish you were here so I could tell you, dear, how much I care, how much I want you near. You know you're the one for me. I hear wedding bells ring every time you walk close to me. Then I know what me, darling, I love you so. You know you're the one for me. Please, please, darling, you say that you'll always be. Well, I really, 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 really love you so. Yes, I really, really, really want you to know that you're mine, you're mine, you're mine, you're mine. Oh yeah, you're mine. Wish you were here. Wish you were here. Wish you were here. Wish you were here. I wish you were here so I could hold you, dear, real close to me and say, girl, I love you so. No. Wish you were here. I wish you wish here.
March 1956 there for the keynotes. Floyd Adams on lead. Think that's their third release on Bess Berman's Apollo record label there. And the last lead for Floyd Adams, I think he left the group after that release there. Really Wish You Were Here is the name of that tune, and that's a cool one. I like that saxophone in that one. That kind of reminds me of George Goldner's saxophone on that one for sure. But anyway, remember buying that 45 of, I don't know if anybody out there, you collectors, have dealt with Robbie Music out in Pueblo, Colorado. My good friend Joel Scherzer bought that one out of his collection when he first started selling out sometime in the mid 1980s. $26.78 for that 45. It's got a little bit of a slight warp on it, which I'm not happy about, but it's really a nice mint copy for that one. And those are the keynotes there. John G, really wishing you are here listening to original vinyl 45s out of my collection. And we count down the music chronologically here on the 50s edition. We have the first of many flip sides from last week's show as I featured Little Esther and the Dominoes on Sid and Nathan's Gold Top Federal label last week. Basically a duet with Clyde McPhatter and the Dominoes, a song called Heart to Heart. The flip is a solo by a Little Esther and a cool sound by her with Earl Warren and the orchestra. This one from July of 1951, Little Esther on Federal with a song entitled Looking for a Man to Satisfy My Soul.
I'm looking for a man to call my very own. Yes, I'm looking for a man to call my very own. He don't have to be handsome, just satisfy my soul. He don't have to be rich, don't need no silver or gold. No, he don't have to be rich, don't need no silver or gold. Just have what it takes to satisfy my soul. If he's short on brains, I won't mind, as long as he's a man and he's mine, all mine. He don't have to be rich, don't need no silver or gold. Just have what it takes to satisfy my soul. Everything'll be straight if he's goofy as a loon, ball as a cue. As long as he's a man and he knows what to do. He don't have to be rich, don't need no silver or gold. Just have what it takes to satisfy my soul.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Actually, that is a solo side there by Little Esther Phillips. July 1951 there on the Federal record banner, Looking for a Man to Satisfy My Soul. That's a cool B-side there. And she would have her biggest hit, her biggest national hit was in 1962 on the Lennox label. Her tune called Release Me. John G here for a Saturday evening, releasing all these cool 45s for you, the Top Shelf Oldies listener. Let's move into 1952, and it's a shame that this group out of Washington, D.C. did not have more success recording with a major label like RCA Records. They had 4 releases on RCA that really went nowhere. Really did not, and it was unfortunate. Here is their 4th and final release for RCA. It features Robert Evans on lead. We go back to July of 1952 for a group called the Heartbreakers on RCA, their tune called There Is Time.
There is time enough to see that you belong to me and that I belong to you. For the moon is The stars are shining bright, and my love is burning in deep in my heart. Though the clouds appear, please remember, dear, there is time to think and to dream of you. The warmth of your embrace, your sweet and smiling face prove to me that there is time, sweetheart. There is time, sweetheart.
Early sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. The cool sound there of the Heartbreakers. July 1952 release. Robert Evans on lead there on the RCA record banner. That is a promo copy. I don't know if I've seen a stock copy. I think there are stock copies on that one there, but There Is Time is the name of that one there. Very nice tune by the Heartbreakers. Now, the group would break up in early 1953, and two of the members of the Heartbreakers, Lawrence Tate and William Ross, they would join the Griffins that recorded for the Mercury record label, and the other two, the lead we just heard, Robert Evans and Fred Holmes, would join the Tops and record for the Red Robin record label. Johnny G here spinning my original vinyl 45s here for a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the tunes here. Let's continue. Let's go to this next group. They are out of Atlanta, Georgia, signed with Mercury Records, put out 3 singles. This is the B-side to their first release. It features Henry Boyd on lead. We go back to November of 1954 for the Cashmeres. Cashmeres on Mercury, and a B-side, their tune called Yes, Yes, Yes.
I say yes, 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 yes. Don't you want me, baby? I hope it ain't too late. Don't you want me, baby? I hope it ain't too late. I got to know now, baby, and I just can't wait. I feel like crying, baby, and when I think what a fool I've been. Tell me that you want me, baby, and I'll never be a fool again. I did a little mean things, baby. Now it's the other way around. You're doing the things I used to do, and you got me running you down. I say yes, 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 yes. Don't you want me, baby? I hope it ain't too late. Don't you want me, baby? I hope it ain't too late. I got to know now, baby, and I just can't wait. I'm sorry, sorry, baby, for the things I used to do. Shoes on the other foot, and you got me wanting you. I learned my lesson, baby. Try me one more time. I admit I was guilty, and paid for my crime. I say yes, 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 yes. Don't you want me, baby? I hope it ain't too late. Don't you want me, baby? I hope it ain't too late. I got to know now, baby, and I just can't wait.
November 1954 release there for the Cashmeres. Whoops. Is that turntable? You see, when it gets a little colder out, my turntable knob sticks. That is not a good thing. Anyway, that's the Cashmeres, their November 1954 release on the Mercury record label. Henry Boyd on lead for that one. A B-side, Yes, 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 is the name of the tune. For you collectors out there, Mercury used to color code their labels. The pink labels meant it was the R&B series. The green labels meant it was the country western series. And those black, maroon, and the black labels, actually, they ran together as the pop and the rock and roll series until everything then became the black label Mercury's. But anyway, this group totally different from the Cashmeres I featured last week on the Laurie label. But Henry Boyd would go on to do all the up-tempo sides for the Cashmere singles on the Mercury label and the other labels that Cashmere's had releases on. Dodd Hicks, he would do the leads on the ballads, and they would go on to have other releases on Al Silver's Herald label and on the Ember label, which they recorded as the Mark Tones. And they had one more that came out on Wonder Records and recorded as the Cashmeres with a K. Yes, Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. As we continue here, we move into 1955. Let's go back to Philadelphia, PA for this group's debut single, and I'm featuring the B-side of the 45, which is the better side in my opinion. I posted this one on my Facebook page, and it's one of the top 10 favorites to listener Tom Hartford. He likes this tune, as so do I. And this is the same group that recorded that rare record that I am looking for on the Ronnie label, their tune called Can't Help Loving That Girl of Mine. I don't have it on the Ronnie label. I have it on the Lost Night label, so I have to admit that I do not have an original of that. So don't request that record, because you're going to hear it on the Lost Night label. And I will tell you, though, that I'm featuring it on Lost Night. But this one is from February 1955 on the MGM record label. They recorded this one in 1954, but it was released in February of 55. These are the Hideaways with their tune called Cherie.
I want you all my life, not for just one day or 1 hour, but all my life. Do you hear? Cherie, how I love you so. And I'll never let you go. For you're my Cherie. My Cherie. Cherie. Oh, Cherie. I love you, dear. Won't you please stay here and be my Cherie? Be my Cherie. I want you all my life. Won't you please be my wife? Yes. Till then, I'll go on praying for you. Oh, Cherie, I adore. Cherie, oh, Cherie, I love you, girl. You're the best girl in
Right out of the time capsule show there. Those are the Hideaways, February 1955 on the MGM record label. That's a cool tune by the Hideaways, a song called Cherie. That's my kind of ballad, nice relaxing ballad as it goes. John G here for a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the tunes here. We continue for another flip side from last week's Vinyl Treasure Show. I featured Ruth Brown's first husband, Jimmy Brown, along with Paul Williams and his band, a song called Rocket Davy Crockett. Let's give a listen to the flip side of the 45 before I file it back down in the No Humidity basement. This one written by the band leader, Paul Williams, and the artist, Jimmy Brown. August 55, Jimmy Brown on Capitol with his tune called Hello.
Wasn't home, I didn't care. I just said hello, hello, hello. Well, hello, hello, hello. Hey, hello, hello, hello. Well, hello, hello, hello. Well, I feel so good, feel like waking up the neighborhood.
August 1955, released there on the Capitol record banner, Paul Williams and his band, and the vocal is Jimmy Brown. Jimmy Brown there with a tune he co-wrote with Paul Williams, a song entitled Hello. John G saying hello to all you Top Shelf Oldies listeners. John G here for a Saturday evening from 10 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Next Saturday is the last Saturday of the month. It's my all 1960s show. And Ed, Rockin' Ed, currently in the Top Shelf Oldies job, he told me that Leonard Chess just recently passed away, 96 years old. Feature a lot of Chess material, usually on every show. I don't think I do. I have to just double check. John G loses his mind. Maybe I do have a Chess record hanging around. If not, I will definitely feature some cool Chess 45s next week on my 60s show, so tune in. Then I'm like debating because some other people want me to do a Halloween show. Like I don't know many Halloween records from the later 60s. The Lurch, maybe. I know I have a lot of the 50s and early 60s Halloween records. That I definitely do know, but I'm sure there are. And I know my buddy Dave the Rave, he has a lot of Halloween records in his collection, so I may have to check with Dave the Rave. If not, well, maybe I think I have one tonight that we can call a Halloween record. But anyway, let's continue with the show here. Let's go out to Pasadena, California for this next group. They have 5 releases on Larry Mead's Vita label, and this is their second, written by the lead singer. His name is Chester Pipkins, and he would go on to join other groups and be the lead of other groups like, well, I don't think he was the lead of the Valiants, but he was a member of the Valiants, the Untouchables, and the Electras, and the Happy Tones, and the Alley Cats, and others. But this one's from October of '55, the Squires on the Vita label, their tune called Heavenly Angel.
Heaven's up in the blue, but I see heaven when I'm with you. Yes, you're an angel, you're so heavenly to me. Heaven may be far away up in blue, but I see heaven when I'm with you. Guess you're an angel, you seem so heavenly to me. Oh, well, no other one has your ways. No other one has your grace. You're the only one I adore. You're the only one I'm living for. Heaven's up in blue, but I see heaven when I'm with you. 'Cause you're an angel, you're so heavenly to me. Oh, so heavenly to me.
Sound of California here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Yes, Dennis, it is very easy to pick out those California sounds. At least for me, it is. There's a certain sound you can pick it out. The California sound, the New York City sound, the Southern sound, the Chicago sound. It's definitely, there are those records that definitely have, well, I guess if you're collecting for as long as Johnny G has and other collectors out there have, it's very easy to tell. But that is definitely a California sound. I don't know what it is, but anyway, those are the Squires from October 1955. Chester Pipkins on lead for that one. Heavenly Angel is the name of that one on the Vita record label. Now, Don Bowman and Dewey Harris, they were members of that group. That Don and Dewey were members of that group before they went on their duet career, we can call it. And I made a mistake. It was Phil Chest, his brother, that passed away. I always say Leonard Chest because I do mention a lot of the label owners here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and they left us with this great music. They were the ones really behind a lot of these records, at least in the 50s they were, before it became like a really big money-making business. It was always a money-making business for sure, but those owners, they were so much so part of their releases that they supervised a lot of these sessions, and you can hear it in the music. John G here for a Saturday evening. We continue now for this next 45, probably the rarest I'll be featuring this evening. Posted this one up on my Facebook wall. You can check it out. This group had 2 releases on the Ronell label out of Chicago, Illinois, but they were from Cleveland, Ohio. They were originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and this is the second of 2 for this group. They're called the Hepsters. It features Joe Williams on lead. We go back to December of 1956, the Hepsters on Ronell with their tune called I Gotta Sing the Blues.
I gotta sing, sing the blues. I got to weep and cry. My baby left me this morning and didn't leave no reason why. I gotta sing, sing the blues. Something sad and slow. I got to weep and more, 'cause I'm feeling mighty low. I can't start laughing when I want to cry. I guess I'll keep on living, 'cause I don't want to die. I gotta sing the blues to mend this broken heart. I got to sing the blues to get a brand new start. I can't start laughing when I want to cry. I guess I'll keep on living, 'cause I don't want to die. I gotta sing the blues, this broken heart. I got to sing the blues to get a new start, brand new start.
December 1956 release there for the Hebsters. The Hebsters there on the Ron-L record label out of Chicago, Illinois. The Hebsters out of Cleveland, Ohio. Joe Williams on lead, the second of two for them on that one. I like their first one better than that side, though. The first release, a song called I Had to Let You Go. The flip side, a great Christmas tune, Rockin' and Rollin' with Santa Claus. Always one of my top 10 or top 5, I think, I forget, on Ramtown Mike's Christmas list that we do, which will be coming up, I guess, soon in December again. Ramtown Mike will be compiling all that data. But Johnny G here for a Saturday evening, spinning my 1950s and early 60s 45s. We count down the music chronologically. Here we are in the year of 1956. Let's stay with another Chicago label, this time Eli Toscano's Cobra label, for another flip side from last week's show, as this group is called the Calvays. I played the B-side to their first release, a song called Fine Girl. Let's give a spin to the intended A-side of the 45, written by the lead singer. Now, back in the 50s, the mambo was a really, really big craze if you knew how to mambo dance. I don't know how to mambo, but I guess I could learn, like, wasn't it Jackie Gleason that learned how to do the mambo? Remember they was teaching all those women in the apartment complex how to do the mambo. He got really upset about that. Well, Jai G doesn't know how to mambo, but I like the mambo tunes, that is for sure, as this is one written by the lead singer James Zeke Brown, the first of two for the Calvays on the Cobra label. August 56, the Calvays with Mambo Fiesta.
Bum, 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 bum.
Girls were dancing, and the
August 1956 release there for the Calvays on the Cobra label. Cobra Records out of Chicago, Illinois, with their tune called Mambo Fiesta, the first of two for the Calvays. And who said it? Ed mentions that Eli Toscano, the owner of the Cobra label, was murdered in 1958. Wow, probably didn't pay his debt of some sort, you know, the Chicago and what goes on in Chicago. And Johnny, not insinuating anything here, just playing the records as I love this music as we continue here for a Saturday evening. And we got a couple more flip sides here. I played the B-side of this 45, which was the biggest seller for Johnny Otis's Dig record label, a song called Crazy Bells, but that was the B-side. We're going to give a listen to the A-side for Julie Stevens and the Premiers. We're going to give it a spin here, co-written by bandleader Jackie Kelso and Julie Stevens, who is doing lead here. There is a backup group here called the Premiers. Also had two releases on the Dig label. This was the biggest seller for Johnny Otis on the Dig label. We go back to June of 1956. Julie Stevens and the Premiers, a song called Blue Mood.
Blue over you.
Johnny Otis's Dig record label there out of Los Angeles, California. That is the biggest seller for his label. Julie Stevens and the Premiers, June 1956. Song entitled Blue Mood. John G, hopefully not putting you in a blue mood here. Got some cool rockin' tunes. We're going to continue here with more flip sides as I featured this Philadelphia, PA group called the Carter Rays. I featured the ballad side of this 45, a song called My Secret Love. Played it on the second label, which was the Lyric label, which is more costly. It is a second press. The first press on Gone is cheaper for some reason. Don't ask me why. But initially on George Gollner's Gone label, but here it is. Gollner also putting this one out in the Philadelphia area. But let's give a listen to the up-tempo side. This group was also the Eddie Carter Quartet. They recorded for the Grand label, but here they are on Lyric as the Carter Rays from June of 57. And this is the up-tempo side, a song called Ding Dong Darling.
Ding dong, hiya bell. She's my ding dong dolly. She's my ding dong girl. She's my ding dong dolly. She's my ding dong girl. She's got a new way of loving, catches me by surprise. 'Cause when she kisses me, she makes my temperature rise. And she's my ding dong dolly, ding dong girl. Ding. Now she ain't much to look at, and she's nothing to see. I don't know what she's got, but she's a gal for me. And when it comes to dresses, she's a 42 style. Oh, but the way she maneuvers really knocks me out. Oh, she's my ding dong dolly, a ding dong girl, ding. Now could it be that I'm dreaming? It seems too good to be real. Say why, oh why do I hear bells and gosh, the way I feel. She's my ding dong dolly, she's my ding dong girl. She's my ding dong dolly, she's my ding dong girl. She's got a new way of loving, catches me by surprise. 'Cause when she kisses me, she makes my temperature rise. And she's my ding dong dolly, ding dong girl, ding. Ding dong dolly, she's my ding dong girl. She's my ding dong dolly, she's my ding dong girl. She's got a new way of loving, catches me by surprise. 'Cause when she kisses me, she makes my temperature rise. And she's my ding dong dolly, ding dong girl, ding. Now she's my ding dong dolly, she's my ding dong girl.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, June 1957. They're called the Carter Rays on the Lyric record label. That is the second press that goes for more than the original on George Gollner's Gone record label, Ding Dong Darling. Do you have a Ding Dong Darling? Sometimes I have a Ding Dong Darling with Barbara. Don't tell her I said that. Though, John G here for a Saturday evening spinning original vinyl 45s. Let's go back to Johnny Otis's Dig label. And last week I featured was it the A side? It was the B side last week of the rarest record on the Dig record label, a group called the Gladiators. The B side was called Girl of My Heart. So let's flip it over, give a listen to the A side. It features Renee Beard on lead. This is the rarest 45 on the Dig label. This one from March of 57. The Gladiators with their tune called My Baby Doll.
baby doll.
Yeah, they're the Gladiators. The Gladiators, they're from March 1957 on the Dig record label, Johnny Otis's Dig Records there. Renee Beard on lead, a song entitled My Baby Doll. That's a rare 45 on the Dig record label. You can get it, you collectors. Some of these records are very expensive. I was offered a 45 actually this week, but I do draw the limit. I have a limit, unfortunately. I will not pay more than 3 dimes for a 45, so you can figure that one out. But this record, I think they were offering it to me for like $4,500. I said, I can't. So as much as I would want to get that record, I can't. I do have to live within my means, that is for sure. But Johnny G here spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. Let's continue. Speaking of rare records, actually I found this next 45 at the Yonkers Raceway Flea Market sometime in the late 1980s. I used to go to the flea markets all the time looking for 45s, and they were cheap. I mean, 5 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents. Very rarely, I think like 50 cents, I was like pushing it to spend on a 45. Then there'd be a couple dealers that would come up and they'd try to get to the flea market before me, and then they would come and set up and sell the records for like triple the price, but they were still a couple dollars, not anything, nowhere near what the records sell for now, although you can get some of them like on sites like eBay, etc., much cheaper, at least some of these 50s records. But anyway, I would go to Yonkers Raceway all the time, and this was the first 45 I ever owned, ever, on Bill Bass Gordon and Ben Smith's Teenage label out of New York City. And I knew from listening to like the Time Capsule show back then of these rare 45s on the Teenage label that I thought I would never ever own. Groups like the Baltineers and the Montereys and the Isley Brothers and the Demons and the Lynx. And, well, I'm missing now only one record on the Teenage label, a girl group called The Dolls. I need that 45 on Teenage Records, but I do have hope. Yes, I do. Well, this Teenage 45 was pretty much an oddball. I knew nothing about it at the time, but I saw it and I said, you know what? It's worth every bit of 10 cents, so I'm going to buy it. And this artist's name is Johnny Honeycutt, and I'm featuring the intended A-side of the 45 from 1957. This is Teenage Records out of New York City. Johnny Honeycutt with the A-side, a song called I Will Never Part From You.
Well, I know I love you, and all my love is true. If you promise you will want me, I will never, no, I will never part from you. I'm gonna give a heart to you. I'm gonna do what you want me to. If you promise you will want me, I will never, no, I will never part from you. Yes, I know I love you so. I will never let you go. We will be so happy together forevermore. I'm gonna give a heart to you. I'm gonna do what you want me to. If you promise you will want me, I will never, no, I will never part from you.
That's an oddball 45 on the Teenage record label. Mostly groups on that Teenage label, but that's a single artist there. Johnny Honeycutt's his name, 1957, a song he wrote on the Teenage label. I Will Never Part From You is the name of that one. John G here for a Saturday evening, spinning my original vinyl 45s. Let's continue here. Another flip from last week's Vinyl Treasure Show as we move into the year 1958. Played a 45 on Fred Foster's Monument record label by a group called the True Tones. Now, this True Tones group, they are out of the the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area. I played the B-side of the 45. It was called Whirlwind. Time to give a listen to the A-side of the 45, co-written by the lead singer Ronald Henderson. This is with Jimmy Griffin and his orchestra. 1958, the True Tones on Monument, and their tune called Honey, Honey.
Honey, 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 oh, honey, honey, I feel so funny, honey, bless me when you take my money, honey, think God will put you down, honey, honey, I feel so funny, honey, bless me when you take my money, honey, think God will put you down. Oh, pretty baby, can't you see your love belongs to me? I bought you a red big Easter bunny. Oh, little girl, you're taking my money, honey, honey. I feel so funny, honey. That's when you take my money, honey. Think God will put you down. Oh, pretty baby, I played your game. I found out you just a diving dame. I bought you a red big gold locket. Oh, little girl, get out of my pocket. Honey, honey, I feel so funny, honey. Especially when you take my money, honey. Think God will put you down. Honey, honey, I feel so funny, honey. Especially when you take my money, honey. Think God will put you
They are the True Tones. The True Tones on Fred Foster's Monument record label. Not many group sides on the Monument label. Maybe some more in the 1960s, like the Velvets much later on. But that's on the Black and Silver Monument record label, 1958. Honey, Honey by the True Tones. John G here, spinning some money records out of my collection. Let's continue for yet another B-side as we head to the Bronx, New York, as I played the debut single for this artist, but on the Apt label. His name was Vince Castro. I featured a song called Bong Bong. Originally came out on the Doe label, and his background singers were a girl group called the Tonettes, who have a few releases on their own, one being a song called Oh What a Baby that I really like. It's on the Doe label. Also came out on the ABC Paramount record label. But let's flip over that Bong Bong 45, the A-side, as the Tonettes are backing Vince up on the B-side that he co-wrote. We go to August of 1958 for Vince Castro and the Tonettes on Apt with a song called You're My Girl.
Although you have no look, you're kinda cute. And when you walk and when you talk, you're really toot. I'm so in love with you. Dee-ya-da-da-da-da-da-dum. You're my girl. Although you're not so smart, you've won my heart. Now night and day I owe look nice when they throw rice, 'cause then that means you're so in love with me. Dee-ya-da-da-da-da-da-da. You're my girl. The moment we kissed and I heard you sigh, I knew my dreams came true. Now Venus and Mars and all of the stars go ooh when I squeeze you, although we're in our teens and still wear jeans. Won't we look nice when they throw rice, 'cause then that means you're so in love with me. Dee-ya-da-da-da-da-da-da. You're my girl.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's Vince Castro and the Tonettes. They don't get mentioned on the label. August 1958, the flip side of Bong Bong, a song entitled You're My Girl. That one there on the Apt record label. Wonder if he is still singing, because he had a slew of YouTube videos at one time on Vince Castro. He was, I don't know, kind of like a I don't want to say karaoke type singing, but he was singing to a music. Maybe he was creating it, but he was singing. Maybe he created the music and then sang to it on the YouTube videos, because he was there and he had some pretty cool pictures of him and the Tonettes when they were performing here in the tri-state area. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Let's do a twin spin on the Apt record label. And up next, it's we stay on the Apt label with a request for Rick in Philly, currently in the Top Shelf Oldies chart. We wanted to hear yet another group from the Bronx, New York, as we just heard Vince Castro, who was from the Bronx, recorded two on the Apt label. This group that Rick requested, and it's a subsidiary of ABC Paramount Records. Now, Rick requested the B-side of their first single to come out on the Apt label. It was co-written by the lead singer. His name is Steve Glasser, but his stage name was Scott Stevens. So by request for Rick, wanted to hear the ballad side. We go back to May of 1958. They're called the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers on Apt with their tune called Play by the Rules of Love.
My one and only love, tell me that I'm your love. Your kisses thrill me so, I'll never let you go. Dearest, stay near me and play by the rules of love.
request for Rick in Philly. That's a cool tune by the Cavaliers. Scott Stevens on lead. That one came out in May of 1958 on the Apt record label, subsidiary of ABC Paramount Records. Song entitled Play by the Rules of Love. Great 45 there. Thank you for that request, Rick. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, got an unreleased master up next here on the show. It was purchased by Ralph Newman and Steve Flam. They were also the creators of the trade magazine called Bim Bam Boom. I'm sure some of you collectors are familiar with that 70s trade magazine on record collecting and about the groups and the artists and the record stores that were coming out at the time. Have lots of those old trade magazines from the 70s in my collection, as they purchased this master from band leader Al Brown. He just had these tapes sitting in the back of his closet, believe it or not. And he sold a number of them out to different individuals in the early 1970s, and was some good material that would have just been uncovered for years and years and years. I think it was the Japanese did come in and purchase a lot of these old masters from the record owners, the unreleased masters. They did at one point come in and purchase them. So a lot of them are probably out of the country, unfortunately. Hopefully they have been released on CD somewhere. But this was one that Steve Flam and Ralph Newman put out on a label that they created. They had the trade magazine. Now they had the label Bim Bam Boom Records. And I think it sounds like a 1958 sound. But the 45 actually came out in 1972 for this group called The Inspirations. It's on the Bim Bam Boom record label out of Brooklyn, New York. 1972, but I think recorded back in 58. Let's give it a spin. The Inspirations on Bim Bam Boom with their tune called Ay, Yai, Yai.
Boom, boom, boom. Ay, 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 ay,
That's on the Bim Bam Boom record label out of Brooklyn, New York. They're called The Inspirations. That was unreleased until 1972, probably recorded around 1958 or so, the Inspirations with their tune called I, Yi, Yi. Now, really, the reason why a lot of these records did not get released, there was something that they didn't like. The label owner didn't like about it. Maybe something sounded off, or the vocalist was off, or somebody messed up with the instrument or something. But some of these records, you can't really tell what the problem is. I mean, that sounded perfectly fine to me. Really like to hear bongos and saxophones and guitars and the vocals in a record like that, a cool up-tempo tune. JohnnyG here spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. Let's continue here. And let's get back to a flip side from last week's Vinyl Treasure Show. I featured this Baltimore, Maryland group called the Kings, recorded on many different labels, and I played one on George Gollner's J-Lo label, a song called Come On Little Baby, which was the intended A-side of the 45. Let's flip it over, give a spin to the B-side, co-written by the lead singer. His name is Adolphus Holcomb, and it's a ballad. It's from June of 58. They're called the Kings on the J-Lo label, a song called Angel. B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Kings from June of 1958 on the J-Lo label, one of George Gollner's oddball one-time labels there, song entitled Angel. Adolphus Holcomb on lead for that one was the lead of the Kings. JohnnyG here for a Saturday evening. We are in the year of 1958. Here is a 45 that my aunt purchased, another one she purchased back in 1958. We go back to to the Apt record label, very popular label in the year 1958 when this label was originated by ABC Paramount Records for this artist from Locust Valley, Long Island. And this was his debut single, and my aunt bought this 45, as I mentioned, in June of 58. His real name is Robert Caristo, but he changed it to Bobby Hamilton. This was actually a local New York hit, and I found this record in multiple collections when I used to go looking around my neighborhood for 45s on those Saturday mornings. Used to find this record for sure. And this one did chart nationally on Billboard, was number 40 on the Billboard. So this is my hit for the number 40 is my hit for the night, because I rarely play hits here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. But this was a number one record on WBNI out of Buffalo, New York, co-written by the lead singer. His name is Bobby Hamilton. Have fond memories of my aunt playing both sides of this 45 for me. This one from June of 58, Bobby Hamilton on Apt with his tune called Crazy Eyes for You.
I've got crazy eyes for you, baby. I've got crazy eyes for you. Oh yes, my darling dear, indeed, indeed I do. Because I love you oh so true. I've got those crazy eyes for you. I've got crazy eyes for you. Oh yes, you know I do. Because I love you oh so true. I've got those crazy eyes for you. Sometimes you make me feel blue. Sometimes you make me feel gay. But I love you every second. I love you every minute, every hour of the day. I've got crazy eyes for you. Oh yes, my darling dear, indeed I do. Because I love you oh so true. I've got those crazy eyes for you. Peggy, Carol, Linda and Jane, Mary, Pat, Sue and Lorraine, but most of all my Sue. I've got those crazy eyes for you. Crazy, 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 crazy,
I have to admit that my aunt taught me how to dance. That was one of the records she taught me, the step, how to dance to that 45. So I do know how to dance to that record for sure. I got to try it with Barbara up here in the attic one afternoon. JohnnyG here, spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. We just heard Bobby Hamilton from June 1958, his debut single on the Apt record banner, song entitled Crazy Eyes for You. JohnnyG has crazy 45s for you every Saturday right here on Top Shelf Oldies. It's my 1950s and early 60s edition of the show. Next Saturday will be my all 60s edition. So if you like 1960s music, soul, rock and roll, bubble gum, pop, a whole bunch of stuff out of my 60s collection, because I do have another collection. It was amazing that I used to segregate my record collection when I started collecting, because it was getting too large where I could not find certain records, so I kind of like split it up. I had what was called, what I would mainly focus on a lot, which would be my 1950s rarer vocal group records. Like I would include some rockabilly, definitely R&B and blues and group records. There would be one section I had, and that was from the 50s to 1965. Then I had what was called the pop section, because I was running thousands of labels, so I have thousands of country western and pop records like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, so many other really oddball artists that I would pick up for like pennies. I have those, and then I would have everything else, 1965 to 1990, a big mixture of all those records and all those sounds. I had 3 collections, and it was crazy trying to manage the stuff. Now it's like totally bonkers with like 185,000 45s. It's just crazy. But I'm featuring for hopefully some cool tunes for you this evening. So let's continue for another flip side from last week's show. I played the side that featured Little Augie Austin and the Chromatics on the Brunswick record label, a song called My Heart Let Me Be Free, which appears to be the intended B-side of the 45 because it has the higher matrix number. It was Brunswick matrix number 105198. Now let's flip it over for 105197. That features the Chromatics again, but this time they are backing Eddie Singleton. This one is Eddie Singleton and the Chromatics, which first came out on the Amsco label, was picked up by Brunswick. This one from July of 58 on Brunswick. Eddie Singleton and the Chromatics. Give a listen to their tune. It's called Too Late.
It's much too late, it's much too late, it's much too late. It's much too late, it's much too late, it's much too late.
Too late to tell you how much I love you. Too late to tell you how much I cry. Wanted to tell you, oh, how I tried. But when you were near me, the words wouldn't come from inside.
It's much too late, it's much too late, it's much too late. It's much too late, it's much too late, it's much too late. Ooh. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow.
It's too late to tell you how much I need you. Too late to tell you how hard I've tried. And as you stand there, close by his side, I know it's too late now for the organ is playing. Here comes the
Johnny G loses his mic there. Cool tunes here for a Saturday evening. That's Eddie Singleton and the Chromatics. Originally came out on the Amsco label. I think I have played it on that label because I do own that 45, but unfortunately the flip side of that Amsco is not this record, but this is the Brunswick release, July 1958. Eddie Singleton and the Chromatics with a song entitled Too Late. No, it is not too late, although it used to be too late before my neighbors next door moved to Ireland. They retired and moved to Ireland as they would get upset with me when I would play the music too loud because I would have the windows open, or they would hear through the windows here, and I am up here on the 3rd floor, broadcasting from the attic, a furnished attic, and they're like kind of right across, not so far away, and they would have guests that said they couldn't get to sleep till about 1 a.m. and they would send me a nasty email that they were going to have to resort to something else. I was like, what are they going to do? Call the police on me? Because really, you're not supposed to play music, at least in my town, after 10 p.m. So I'm supposed to wear the headphones, although these headphones don't work with this new mixer. So they are just plumb out of luck. But the new neighbors, they are night owls, so maybe they do like this music, although they are a very young couple. Anyway, John G. babbling on here. Let's continue. We move into 1959 with another flip side from last week's show, as I featured this label called Andex Records out of California, which was also really the Keen label. Played a record by Mary Kinney with a group, a song called Bobby My Love. That was the ballad B-side. Let's give a listen to the A-side, the up-tempo side. This one from February 59, Mary Kinney and group on Andex with a song called I'm Anxious. Can't do that.
I'm anxious to see you every day so I can hold you in my special way. I'm anxious to hear you call me sugar pie. I'm anxious to hold you oh so tight. I'm gonna kiss you each and every night. I'm anxious to have you love me more and more. Cause when you squeeze me, oh, you tease me. When you tease me, well, you know that you please me. That's why I'm anxious to have me feel you close and hear you whisper, Mama, you're the most. I'm anxious to make you my daddy, oh. My daddy, oh. I'm anxious to see you every day so I can hold you in my special way. I'm anxious to hear you call me sugar pie. Call me sugar pie. I'm anxious to hold you oh so tight. I'm gonna kiss you each and every night. I'm anxious to make you my daddy, oh. My daddy, oh. Cause when you squeeze me, oh, you tease me. When you tease me, well, you know that you please me. That's why I'm anxious to have me feel you close and hear you whisper, Mama, you're the most. I'm anxious to make you my daddy, oh. To make you my daddy, oh. To make you my daddy, oh. Yeah.
February 1959 for Mary Kinney and a group on the Andex record label. Song entitled I'm Anxious. Not good for you guys to get anxious. That is not good. Can only lead down a road of heartbreak. Yes, it can. But she has another release also on the Spot record label. Johnny trying to be Johnny on the Spot here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue for this next 45. This is the closest thing you will get to an early Halloween sound of the season, I guess we can say. And it's a flip side from last week's show by a group called the Persuaders, as I featured the B-side of this 45 last week, a song called Tears. Now, the A-side sounds like it could be a Halloween song. It's on Paul Winley's Winley record label. This one from January 1959, the Persuaders on Winley, and their tune called What Could It Be?
Well, I leave back in the woods, and the living back there ain't good. Now every night when I'm on my way home, I never seem to go home alone. What could it be? Yeah. What could it be? What could it be? Yeah. Well, sometimes I try to whistle the tune. I even try to concentrate on the moon. running like a baby jet. When I got home, I was soaking wet. I said, Mama, hear my plea. I'm just as scared as I can be. What could it be? Yeah. What could it be? What could it be? Yeah. What could it be? What could it be?
Well, that is my Halloween song for the night there by the Persuaders, January 1959. That's the A-side of the 45s. Paul Winley's Winley Records out of New York City. Their tune called What Could It Be? That is the question. And for you collectors out there, you can get that cheaper on the Relic label, so you can look for it on Relic Records. Featured it on the Winley label for that one. John G here spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. Was able to find this request for Bopper Boy Warren, as I couldn't find it when he originally requested it. It might have been maybe, Warren, you might have requested this one maybe about a month or so ago, but I couldn't find the record. Didn't know where it was. But we go back to Chicago, Illinois for this group that was formed by their two brothers, Willie and O.C. Logan, and they were called the Aqualos. Now, Warren requested their debut single that came out on Thomas Madman Jones's Mad label, and this one features Willie Logan on lead by request for Bopper Boy Warren, currently in the Top Shelf Oldies chat. And this one from October of '59, the Aqualos on Mad, M-A-D, with their tune called Patty Patty. By request for Bopper Boy Warren, they're out of Chicago, Illinois, the Aqualos, their debut single On the Mad record label, October 1959, song entitled Patty Patty. Was able to upgrade that record. That is styrene. You know I hate styrene 45s. I do, but I was able to upgrade that copy. That's a stock copy, VG stock. I have a nice, pretty clean DJ copy, white label DJ. Remember, I got that record in a trade, I was trading like pop teen records. He wanted pop teen unusual records. He would be willing to trade some R&B tunes out of his collection. Steve Bennett, I think was his name, up in Washingtonville, New York. I used to meet him in Louis Silvani's store when he was in Dobbs Ferry. He would come in I think he was a lawyer in New York City, would come in to pick up the 45s, and I was coming in from working in White Plains, would drive in there to pick up the records, and I would meet some people in there, other collectors, which was pretty interesting. Anyway, Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue, and yet another flip side from last week's Vinyl Treasure Show for this group out of New Haven, Connecticut, as this 45 originally came out a year earlier on another label, Little Records, and they called themselves the Catalinas, but OK Records would purchase the master and release it on the OK label, and they released the exact record, the A and B side, and they changed the name of the group from the Catalinas to the Buddies. Now, last week I played the intended B-side of the 45, which was the up-tempo side called Castle of Love. The flip side, the ballad side, is the A-side. It features Jimmy Luth on lead. This is the September 1959 release on OK. They're called the Buddies. Their tune is called Give Me Your Love.
Give me your love to remember you by.
Dum-be-doo-be.
Give me your kiss to remember you by. Give me your heart, not just a song.
September 1959 release there, a group called the Buddies. Jimmy Luth on lead. Give Me Your Love is the name of that one. Have played that on the OK label, released a year earlier on the Little label. by the Catalinas, and OK picked up that master and put it out on their OK label. John G here spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. We move into 1960 to Sid Nathan's King label, and I nor Charlene could find any information on this group. It appears to be their only release, as there are 5 names mentioned in the writer credits, so they have to be all the members of the group, I would have to say. But they're known as the High Tones. Let's give a listen to the uptempo side of this 45. Came out in November of 1960, the High Tones on King, and their tune called Let's Have a Good Time. November 1960 release there. They're called the High Tones. The High, H-I space T-O-N-E-S, the High Tones on the King record banner there. Song entitled Let's Have a Good Time. John G always has a good time spinning my original vinyl 45s for you, the Top Shelf Oldies listeners. So let's continue here in 1960. Got a girl group sound for this group out of Owensboro, Kentucky. Now, their debut single came out on the Royce label in March of 1960, and they re-sung the song for the label that I'm featuring it on, Tilt Records. And that's the 45 I'm playing. It features Martha Hayden on lead. Here are the Hayden Sisters. This one released in September of 1960. The Hayden Sisters on Tilt, and their tune's called Silent Tears.
Silent tears, 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 how my heart cries.
Girl group sounds here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one there from September 1960 on the Tilt record label. They're called the Hayden Sisters. Martha Hayden on lead for that one. More polished on that re-recording of the record. The first press came out in March of 1960 on the Royce label. I don't have that 45. I had gotten to a bidding war with somebody on eBay when it was up a couple of years ago, and I was really not happy that I lost the 45. But anyway, they re-sung the song, more polished version there. This record also comes out on the Smash label, which I don't own. That is a label that I do collect. And I don't know, maybe that's a rare record on Smash. I don't know, but that's a cool tune. Warren likes that one. So do I. Let's continue here with another 45 out of the year 1960. And on the last two Vinyl Treasure Show, I featured a 45 on the Dante label by Dean Scott. I actually played both sides that a lot of you listeners enjoyed, a song called It's Never Too Late. And last week I played I Want to Get Married. Now, there was a backing vocal group behind those two songs, and they were called the Epics. I neglected to mention that, or maybe I did. I don't recall. But that group, the Epics, they had two releases on the Dante label also, and this is their first. It's produced by Ray Doggett. It features a female lead with male backing, and the only thing I know is the first name of the female lead. Her name is Jeannie, and they mentioned that on the label featuring Jeannie. But this one's from 1960. Give a listen to the Epics on Dante with their tune called So Many Times.
Your lips so many times. I could touch your fingertips, but it ain't gonna happen. No, it won't happen. It ain't gonna happen one more time. Oh, one more time. So many times. I'll always get tired. So many times. You won't hurt me anymore. There'll be no more times like this, dear.
They're called the Epics. The Epics, they're featuring Jeannie. Don't know who Jeannie is, but she's doing lead on that one. 1960 release on the Dante Records, song entitled So Many Times. John G here for a Saturday evening, 1950s, early 60s section of the show. And let's continue here. And I know you all enjoy this next group. I feature them here quite a bit on the Vinyl Treasure Show. This group is out of Pittsburgh, PA, a favorite here on the show and also on Top Shelf Oldies. This is their third release on the Colpix record label, a tune written by Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil, first recorded by co-writer Barry Mann on an album that he put out on the ABC Paramount record label, an album called "Who Put the Bomb," which the song on the album would subsequently come out as a single the same month as the album, October 1961. But it was this 45 was a B-side for a group called the Marcells. Features Cornelius Harp on lead. We go back to July of 1961 for the Marcells on Colpix, and their rendition of the tune "Find Another Fool."
Find another fool, find another fool,
You used to hurt me so, you never know. And I cried every time you were untrue. But now without a doubt, my tears have all run out. And so, as my love for you, go find another who will leave your life. Yeah, find another fool, 'cause this fool got wise. Each day my loving heart was torn apart, 'cause all your cheating ways drove me insane. But now my heart is free, 'cause suddenly I see that you are in your domain. Go find another fool who will leave your life. Yeah, find another fool, 'cause this fool got wise. Find another lover, teach him how to cry, make him sad, treat him bad, but get yourself another guy. I've nothing left inside except my pride. So leave me that in peace, just walk away. And when you're looking for someone to hurt some more, don't call, 'cause I only say, go find another who will leave your life. Yeah, find another fool, 'cause this fool got wise. Yeah, find another fool, 'cause this fool got wise. Whoa, whoa, yeah, find another fool, 'cause this fool got wise. Yeah, find another
The great Marcells there. They had such great harmonies. They sure did. 1961, July 61. That's a B-side there. Song entitled "Find Another Fool." Cornelius Harp on lead, Colpix Records. I think "You Are My Sunshine." That was the A-side of that 45. I like that tune there by the Marcells. Let's continue. We are in Vinyl Treasure overtime now. Let's go back out to Hollywood, California. This time Bob Keene's Delphi record label for this group called the Hep Cats. Pretty rare 45 if you have it on the Delphi label. The rarest group 45 on the Delphi label, as this group would later on record as the Valaquans on the Laguna label. Another rare 45. But let's give this one a spin. This one from March of 61. They're called the Hep Cats. Delphi Records, a song called "What in the World Can I Do?"
What in this world can I do? What in this world can I do? I'm in love with you. I hold you true forever. My dear, I love you so. I've tried everything I know. I pray
found. What in this world can I do? What in this world can I do? What in this world can I do?
Bob Keene's Delphi record label for that one. They're called the Hip Cats. The Hip Cats there, March 1961, song entitled What in the World Can I Do? We continue for more in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Now, earlier in the show, we heard from a group called the True Tones. I featured them on the Monument record label, actually their debut single, group out of Washington, D.C., a song called Honey, Honey. Well, here they are again. They return 3 years later. They returned 3 years later on the Felsted label, and they're doing a cover song. As I played the original of this song last week by a group called the Cashmeres on the Laurie label, the different Cashmeres than we heard earlier. Actually, it was Merrily, I think, requested the Cashmeres record last week, but the song was called Singing Waters. Now, this is a cover which I kind of like better than the original version by the Cashmeres, as this one is being done by the True Tones. It features Ronald Henderson on lead. We go back to June of 61, the True Tones on Felsted. Give a listen to their rendition of the tune Singing Waters.
Bum, 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 bum.
That valley where the lilacs bloom and the waterfall has an enchanting love call. Singing waters coming down the mountainside that glisten, bringing melodies of love to anyone who cares to listen. Singing waters sang a song of love for me the very day you came my way. That's where I'd like to live with you my whole life long. So well romance can be one beautiful sweet love song. Singing waters, tell the babbling brook I want the whole world to know I love her so. That's where I'd like to live with you my whole life long. So our romance can be one beautiful sweet love song. Singing waters, tell the babbling brook I want the whole world to know I love her so.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure OT. True Tones there from June 1961. Ronald Henderson on lead. Their rendition of the tune Singing Waters. That one there on the Felsted record label. They would have one other release, a later release on the Soulville label in 1965. John G here doing Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Let's continue here. Another 45 that my aunt purchased back in 1961 for this artist originally from Yuma, Arizona, as the A-side was a monster hit, a big top 10 hit for this artist. Number 7 on Billboard, number 6 on Cashbox, a song called Pretty Little Angel Eyes, one of my all-time favorites from the year of 1961. Now, the flip side of that 45 is a killer ballad, which features the backup group, the Halos. Actually, they are on both sides, of course. It's Arthur Cryer and his buddies, and they do a great job on this B-side. Let's give a listen to this excellent B-side, 45 65 my aunt used to play both sides of. Written by Tommy Boyce, produced by Phil Spector. Mr. Curtis Lee on lead. This one from July of 61 on Dunes Records, the B-side to Pretty Little Angel Eyes, song entitled Gee, How I Wish You Were Here.
How I wish you were here tonight to love me and how I miss you tonight. I need you here beside me to hold me and love me. Oh, gee, how I wish you were here. Wish you were here. And oh, I'm so lonesome tonight. I can't stop thinking of you. You're my every dream come true. What would I do without you to hold me and love me? Oh, gee, how I wish you were here. If you would only call just to say hello, how happy I would be. Just to hear your voice saying I love you would mean so much to me. How I wish you were here tonight to love me and how I miss you tonight. I need you here beside me to hold me and love me. Oh, gee, how I wish you were here. Oh, wish you were.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, July 61 there. Curtis Lee and the Halos on the Dunes record label out of New York City. Gee, how I wish you were here. Tommy Boyce pen tune there. Produced by Phil Spector. That is the B-side to Pretty Little Angel Eyes. John G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Let's continue with a few more sides before we sign off here. This is my all 1950s and early 60s show. Next Saturday evening will be my all late 1964 and later sounds out of my collection. Let's continue. And don't know much about this next artist. It's on the Epic record label. Appears to be his only 45 that was given a big rating, a nice rating in Billboard magazine. It says what they said in Billboard was spoofs tragedy teen records. No. A spoof tragedy teen record with an amusing rocker about a boy who can't equal sacrificial deeds of his gal's disc heroes. Well, let's hear what that means. What does that mean? But anyway, his name is Billy Casher. Billy Casher. And I think he's being backed up by the Four Evers on this release. It's on the Epic label. November 61, Billy Casher and Group on Epic with a song called Give Her Back.
Come on and give her back. Come on and give her back.
Give her back. I gave her up in a moment of madness. I gave her to you. Now my life is so full of sadness. But her love's still mine. And she begs to be free. Come on and give her back. 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 Give her back to me.
Come on and give her back.
Give her back.
Come on and give her back.
I realize that you love her sincerely, but it's my arms that she prizes so dearly. So why must you hang on so stubbornly? Come on and give her back. 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 Give her back to me.
Come on and give her back.
Just because of my mistake, why must three hearts bend and break? Whoa, I know you're my best friend, but you're hurting you, you're hurting me, you're hurting her, and it will lead to a tragic end. Whoa, while she's close to you, her heart isn't in it. I know she's thinking of me as I think of her every minute. 'Cause way down deep, she's in love with me. Come on and give her back. 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 Give her back to me.
Come on and give her back.
Give her back. Give her back. Give her back. Give her back. Give her back.
Sounding a lot like the Marcells, at least the bass of the Marcells, but those as Billy Casher. Billy Casher and the group, November 1961 on the Epic label, song entitled Give Her Back. John G continuing with a little bit more here. Here's another flip side from last week's show as I featured the debut single for this Bronx, New York group known as the Earls. It came out on Trade Martin's Rome record label, and I played their cover song called a song called Looking for My Baby. Now, the B-side's a very cool doo-wop that I really like, featuring the lead of Larry Chance, who's still going strong today. And we're going to give a spin to the Earls. This is the B-side. I like this side, too, from July of 61. The Earls on Rome with their tune called Cross My Heart.
Cross my heart, darling, I love you. Honest, I do. You're the one, girl, that sets my soul afire. For you're my heart's desire. My heart's desire. Cross my heart. Darling, I'm sorry that I mistreated you. Please, please tell me what can I do to prove my love for you.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Nobody plays that B-side. Nobody does. That's Larry Chance. Cool B-side there with the Earls, July 1961. The flip side of Looking for My Baby, the first record on the Rome record label, song entitled Cross My Heart. A few more 45s to go. And don't know much about this next singer, but he has 3 overall releases. I think the one I'm featuring on Atlantic is his first, but he has others on Warner Brothers and also on the Wells label. He goes by the name of Virgil Holmes, and he wrote this song. And some of you may recognize this song because it was covered by Mark Valentino in 1962, actually as a B-side to a 45 he does on the Swan label called The Push and Kick. Mark Valentino recorded this as the B-side, but this is the original, which is supervised by Bob Crew. That gets mentioned on the label. We go to Atlantic Records, June 61, Virgil Holmes with his tune called Walkin' Alone.
Walking alone through the stillness of the night, I long to hold you so tight, but you're not here and I can't find you. Love, I can't find your love. Walking alone through the stillness of the night, I look for you, but you're not there. Come from the night and take my hand, my love, love. Walking alone, walking alone, walking alone without your love. Walking alone and I can't find romance. I long to hold you tight. Walking alone, all alone through the night. Walking alone, all alone, no one to take my hand. Walking alone, I cannot find her. Walking alone, how can I find her? Love has left this heart of mine. Walking alone, walking alone, walking
June 1961 release there for Virgil Holmes. Virgil Holmes on Atlantic, and his tune there, song entitled Walk In Alone. 2:45s to go before John G signs off here for a Saturday evening. We go back to Harlem, New York for this next group. They are known as the Carousels, female lead with male backing, and they do a song I really like on George Colner's Gone record label. Now, it features the lead of Betty Jackson, who was the sister of the Jesters lead singer Adam Jackson. And I posted this one on my Facebook wall, and I have the true first press of this 45 on a Gone disc jockey copy. Now, the title has been changed, I think, overall 3 times by George Golner. Finally decided on the appropriate title of the song to be If You Want To. That was when it became sort of a New York hit. But prior to all that, the one prior to that one, it was called You Can Come If You Want To, but he didn't like that title. And I'm featuring the original title, which he totally hated. He did not like the title of the tune, and that's the side I am playing. This was number 2 on WYRE out of Pittsburgh, PA. This one from December of 61. These are the Carousels with Betty Jackson on lead on Gone Records, and the original title of the 45 was called You Can Come. Having a great side there by the Carousels, December 1961. On the Gone record, the original title there, song entitled You Can Come, but really they eventually changed it to If You Want To. Yes, that's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to original vinyl 45s out of my collection. You want to get in touch with Johnny G, send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. You can also reach me at vinyltreasures. No, Johnny G Vinyltreasures at gmail.com. I've been recording this show for the Ustream on the Ustream broadcaster. We'll post it up to my YouTube account for you collectors that like to see the labels. Also, I will upload the show to my vinyltreasures.net website. You can download or stream the shows there anytime. Got a whole slew of shows there, and you can check it out at your leisure. And we're going to close the show this evening with a group out of Nashville, Tennessee. They had this lone release on the ABC Paramount record label, produced by Felton Jarvis. It's from November of '63. They go by the name of Londi and the Cameos. Londi and the Cameos on ABC Paramount with a song called Foolin' Me. That is the closer, folks. And I really enjoyed playing the tunes for you as I do every Saturday. And we'll be back next Saturday evening for my 1964 and later show. We do it the last Saturday of every month, so I'll be pulling out some of those cool 60s sounds out of my collection. And I want you to tune in tomorrow evening for my buddy Dave the Raven, his Relics and Rarities shows. He starts at 9 p.m., 9 to midnight right here on Top Shelf. He's got some cool sounds out of his collection, a 45 collected like your host, Johnny G. Well, that's going to do it, folks. Hope everybody enjoyed the tunes this evening. I want to thank Charlene for all her help with the research on the show, and want everybody to have a safe and happy week, and hope you see me here next Saturday for the all 1960 show right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Just want to say, everybody, so long.
You were just fooling me, fooling right from the start. I gave my love, the truest love, from the bottom of my heart. You were just kissing me in a game of pretend. You never meant to stand by me and share my love until the end. Oh, darling, you know I tried and remember. Oh, how I cried when I found out you were just playing kiss and run games with my heart. You were just fooling me, and it's so hard to bear when I found out you were just fooling me. You were just fooling me, fooling right from the start. I gave my love, the truest love, from the bottom of my heart. You were just kissing me in a game of pretend. You never meant to stand by me and share my love until the end. Oh, my darling, you know I tried and remember. Oh, how I cried when I found out you were just playing kiss and run games with my heart. You were just fooling